Educate yourself daily for success. Learn every day for a successful life. Introduction. Imagine if you could gain a small advantage every single day, an edge that compounds over time, turning you into a powerhouse of knowledge, skills, and success. What if the secret to achieving everything you've ever wanted wasn't luck, talent, or even hard work alone, but the simple habit of learning something new every day? The truth is, the most successful people in the world don't stop learning once they leave school. They understand that knowledge is the ultimate currency, the one thing that can never be taken away from you. And the best part? You don't need to be a genius or spend hours studying. All it takes is a commitment to educate yourself daily. Every day presents an opportunity to expand your mind, develop new skills, and move closer to your goals. The knowledge you acquire shapes your decisions, strengthens your mindset, and ultimately determines your success. When you make learning a way of life, you gain an unstoppable advantage, one that opens doors to endless possibilities. This book is your guide to embracing daily learning as a powerful habit. By training your mind, seeking wisdom, and applying what you discover, you will create a future filled with growth and achievement. The journey to success starts with a simple choice: to learn, to improve, and to evolve every single day. The more you invest in your knowledge, the more control you gain over your destiny. The key to an extraordinary life isn't found in luck or privilege. It's found in your willingness to grow. Success isn't reserved for the few. It's available to anyone who chooses to learn and apply what they know. Chapter 1. Turn your mind into a learning machine. Success begins with a mindset of growth. This means believing that your abilities, intelligence, and skills are not fixed, but can be developed over time with effort and dedication. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Just as physical exercise strengthens your body, mental exercise through learning strengthens your brain, improving your ability to think, analyze, and solve problems. The key to unlocking this potential is to develop a habit of continuous learning and to stay open to new knowledge every day. One of the best ways to train your mind is by embracing curiosity. Curiosity is the driving force behind all learning. When you develop a natural desire to understand how things work, to explore new ideas, and to question what you already know, you create an unstoppable thirst for knowledge. Instead of waiting for information to come to you, take the initiative to seek it out. Read books that challenge your thinking, listen to podcasts that introduce you to fresh perspectives, take online courses that help you acquire new skills, and watch educational videos that broaden your understanding of the world. The more diverse the sources of your learning, the richer your knowledge base will become. Learning is not limited to books and lectures. It happens all around you. Every conversation, every challenge, and every mistake is an opportunity to grow. When you start viewing life as a classroom, you begin to see lessons in everything. A difficult situation at work can teach you patience and problem-solving. A disagreement with a friend can help you improve your communication skills. Even simple activities like observing nature, traveling to new places, or trying out a new hobby can provide valuable insights. The key is to remain open-minded and to actively look for ways to learn from your surroundings. Additionally, it is important to challenge your perspectives. Often, we get comfortable with our existing beliefs and ways of thinking, but real growth happens when we step outside our comfort zones. Seek out different viewpoints, engage in discussions with people who think differently than you, and be willing to question your own assumptions. This not only makes you more knowledgeable, but also helps you become more adaptable, open-minded, and capable of seeing the bigger picture. Above all, make a conscious effort to absorb knowledge daily. Learning should not be something you do occasionally. It should be a part of your lifestyle. Set aside time each day, even if it's just 20 minutes, to educate yourself. Whether it's reading an article, listening to an audiobook while commuting, or watching a documentary before bed, small and consistent efforts will add up over time. The more you engage in daily learning, the more you sharpen your mind and prepare yourself for future success. By turning your mind into a learning machine, you set yourself on a path of continuous self-improvement. When you develop the habit of lifelong learning, you equip yourself with the tools to overcome challenges, seize opportunities, and achieve greatness in every aspect of life. Chapter 2. Learn from the Masters of Success. Success is not a mystery. Throughout history, countless individuals have achieved greatness in various fields: business, science, sports, literature, and personal development. They faced struggles, overcame failures, and learned valuable lessons along the way. The good news is that you don't have to figure everything out on your own. You can study the lives of these successful individuals and apply their wisdom to your own journey. Learning from the Masters of Success allows you to avoid common mistakes, adopt powerful habits, and accelerate your progress toward your goals. One of the best ways to learn from great minds is through books. Books are like time machines. They allow you to gain knowledge from people who lived centuries ago, as well as from modern leaders who continue to shape the world. By reading biographies and autobiographies, you get an inside look into the thought processes, work ethics, and decision-making strategies of the most successful people in history. For example, if you want to become a great entrepreneur, you can study how Steve Jobs built Apple, how Elon Musk innovated multiple industries, or how Warren Buffett made his investment decisions. If you aspire to become a leader, you can learn from figures like Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, or Mahatma Gandhi. Their experiences and insights provide a roadmap that you can follow. In addition to books, listening to interviews and speeches is another powerful way to learn from successful people. Thanks to modern technology, we now have access to podcasts, TED Talks, and YouTube interviews where top performers share their knowledge and experiences. These resources allow you to hear directly from the minds of experts and gain a deeper understanding of what it takes to succeed. When you listen to them talk about their struggles, their mindset, and the strategies they use to overcome obstacles, you start to see patterns of success. You realize that no matter how difficult your challenges may seem, others have faced similar situations and found a way to succeed. This knowledge gives you confidence and motivation to keep moving forward. Learning from the Masters of Success is not just about passively consuming content. You must actively apply what you learn. Take notes while reading a book or watching a video. Identify key takeaways and think about how they can be implemented in your own life. If a successful entrepreneur emphasizes the importance of daily discipline, try incorporating that habit into your own routine. If a great leader talks about the power of resilience, start practicing ways to stay strong during tough times. The goal is not just to admire successful people, but to adopt their habits and mindsets so that you can achieve similar results. Another effective way to learn from the best is by seeking mentorship. If possible, find people in your field who have already achieved what you aspire to accomplish. A mentor can provide valuable guidance, share their personal experiences, and offer advice tailored to your specific situation. Even if you don't have direct access to a mentor, you can still learn by observing successful individuals in your industry and analyzing their methods. Look at how they work, how they communicate, how they handle challenges, and how they make decisions. By modeling their behavior, you can adopt their success strategies and apply them to your own journey. It's also important to surround yourself with success-oriented people. The company you keep influences your mindset, habits, and level of motivation. If you spend time with people who are constantly learning, setting goals, and striving for excellence, you will naturally be inspired to do the same. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with negativity, laziness, or a lack of ambition, it becomes much harder to stay motivated. Be intentional about the people you learn from, whether they are historical figures, modern-day mentors, or close friends who push you to grow. At the core of this principle is the idea that success leaves clues. Those who have achieved greatness have left behind a trail of wisdom that anyone can follow. By studying their experiences, adopting their best practices, and applying their lessons to your own life, you can fast-track your journey to success. The key is to be proactive, seek out knowledge from the best sources, and take action on what you learn. When you make it a habit to study and learn from the masters of success, you give yourself an unfair advantage in life, one that can help you achieve your dreams faster and with greater confidence. Chapter 3. Make learning a daily habit. Success is not the result of one big moment or a single stroke of luck. It is built through small, consistent efforts over time. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is the habit of daily learning. Just as you brush your teeth, eat meals, or exercise regularly to maintain good health, learning should become a natural and non-negotiable part of your daily routine. When you commit to learning something new every day, even if it's just a small piece of information, you set yourself on a lifelong path of growth, self-improvement, and success. The key to making learning a daily habit is to integrate it into your routine in a way that feels natural and effortless. This means finding the best times and methods that work for you. For example, you can start your morning by reading a few pages of a book, listening to a podcast while commuting, or watching an educational video during lunch. Before going to bed, you can reflect on what you learned during the day and how it can be applied to your life. The goal is to create a learning system that fits seamlessly into your daily schedule so that it becomes second nature. One of the best ways to make learning a daily habit is by setting specific learning goals. Instead of vaguely deciding to learn more, define exactly what you want to learn and how you will go about it. For example, you might set a goal to read one book per month, take an online course every 3 months, or spend 15 minutes each day studying a new language. Clear goals keep you focused and give you a sense of progress. When you track your learning over time, you start to see tangible improvements, which keeps you motivated to continue. It's also important to use a variety of learning methods to keep things interesting and engaging. Reading books is an excellent way to gain deep knowledge, but you can also learn through different formats such as articles, videos, podcasts, documentaries, and even conversations with knowledgeable people. Interactive learning, such as taking online courses, participating in discussions, or teaching others what you've learned, can help reinforce new knowledge and make it easier to retain. The more ways you engage with new information, the stronger your understanding will become. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to build a daily learning habit is a lack of time. With busy schedules filled with work, family responsibilities, and social activities, it can be difficult to dedicate time to learning. However, the reality is that you don't need hours of study every day to make a difference. Even 10 to 15 minutes of focused learning can add up over time. The key is to make the most of the small pockets of free time you already have. Instead of scrolling through social media mindlessly, use that time to read an article. Instead of listening to random music, tune in to an educational podcast. Instead of watching TV before bed, watch a TED Talk or a documentary that expands your knowledge. To make learning truly stick, take an active approach rather than just passively absorbing information. When you read or watch something, take notes on key ideas. Summarize what you've learned in your own words. Apply new knowledge in real-life situations. Discuss what you've learned with others. Teaching or explaining concepts to someone else is one of the most effective ways to reinforce your own understanding. The more actively you engage with new information, the more deeply it becomes embedded in your mind. Another important aspect of daily learning is developing a growth mindset, the belief that your intelligence and abilities can be improved with effort. Many people hold themselves back by believing that they are not smart enough or that learning new things is too difficult. However, research has shown that the brain is highly adaptable, and with consistent practice, anyone can improve their skills and knowledge. Instead of thinking of learning as a chore, view it as an exciting journey of discovery. Approach new topics with curiosity and a willingness to explore. The more you enjoy the process of learning, the more likely you are to stick with it. Making learning a daily habit is one of the most valuable investments you can make in yourself. Knowledge is a form of power, and the more you learn, the more equipped you are to navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and achieve your goals. The greatest minds in history, from Leonardo da Vinci to Albert Einstein, were lifelong learners who never stopped seeking knowledge. If you adopt the same mindset and commit to learning every day, you will continuously grow, evolve, and unlock your full potential. Chapter 4. Apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is useless. Learning is a powerful tool, but knowledge alone is not enough to bring success. Many people spend hours reading books, taking courses, or listening to experts, but they fail to take action on what they've learned. They collect knowledge like trophies on a shelf, but they never put it to use. The real key to success lies not just in acquiring knowledge, but in applying it to real-life situations. When you take action on what you learn, you turn information into results, theory into experience, and potential into achievement. Think about all the successful people in history. They didn't just read about success. They took bold steps and applied their knowledge to create real change. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk didn't just study business strategies. They built companies. Athletes like Michael Jordan didn't just watch basketball games. They trained tirelessly. Scientists like Albert Einstein didn't just read about physics. They conducted experiments and tested their ideas. What sets successful people apart is their ability to take what they've learned and put it into practice. One of the best ways to apply what you learn is to take small, immediate actions. After reading a book or watching an educational video, don't just move on to the next source of information. Pause and ask yourself, how can I use this in my life right now? For example, if you read a book about improving productivity, try implementing one technique from the book that same day. If you watch a video about developing confidence, practice using what you learned in your next conversation. Taking even small actions will help reinforce new knowledge and turn it into a habit. Another effective way to apply what you learn is through hands-on practice. If you're learning a new skill, such as coding, writing, or public speaking, you need to practice regularly. Reading about how to write a great novel won't make you a writer. You need to actually sit down and write. Studying business strategies won't make you an entrepreneur. You need to start a project, test ideas, and learn from experience. Knowledge becomes truly valuable when you use it to solve problems, improve your skills, and make progress in your goals. It's also important to reflect on what you learn and track your progress. Keep a learning journal where you write down key takeaways from books, courses, or experiences. Write about how you've applied the knowledge and what results you've seen. This not only helps reinforce what you've learned, but also allows you to see patterns in your growth. Over time, you'll gain a deeper understanding of what works and what doesn't, making your learning more effective. One common mistake people make is waiting for the perfect moment to apply what they've learned. They think they need to master every detail before taking action, but in reality, you learn best by doing. Waiting for perfection leads to procrastination and wasted potential. Instead of overthinking, take imperfect action and adjust along the way. If you want to start a YouTube channel, don't wait until you have the perfect setup. Start with what you have and improve over time. If you want to get better at public speaking, don't wait until you feel completely confident. Start speaking in small settings and build your confidence gradually. The sooner you take action, the faster you'll learn and grow. Surrounding yourself with action takers can also help reinforce this habit. Being in an environment where people are applying knowledge and achieving results will push you to do the same. Join communities or groups where members are actively working on their goals. Engage in discussions, share your progress, and learn from others who are already applying what they know. The energy of action-oriented people will motivate you to stay consistent in using what you learn. Lastly, remember that failure is part of the learning process. When you apply new knowledge, you won't always get perfect results right away. You might make mistakes, face setbacks, or struggle to see immediate progress. But that's completely normal. Every successful person has experienced failures along the way. The key is to learn from those failures and keep improving. Each mistake is an opportunity to refine your skills and get closer to success. At the end of the day, knowledge is only valuable when it is put into action. Learning without doing is like owning a car, but never driving it. It has potential, but it's useless if it just sits there. The true power of education comes from using it to make a difference in your life. If you commit to taking action on what you learn every day, you will see real progress, achieve your goals, and build a successful life one step at a time. You said, now 5, write long. ChatGPT said, Chapter 5, surround yourself with knowledge and growth-oriented people. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping who you become. The people you interact with, the conversations you engage in, and the information you consume all influence your mindset, habits, and ultimately, your success. If you want to educate yourself daily and achieve success, you must surround yourself with people and resources that encourage continuous learning and personal growth. Imagine spending most of your time with people who complain, make excuses, and reject new ideas. Their negative energy will slowly seep into your thinking, making it harder for you to stay motivated and focused. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with curious, ambitious, and success-driven individuals, their mindset will naturally influence you to think bigger, push yourself further, and seek knowledge relentlessly. You absorb the attitudes and habits of those around you, so it's essential to choose your circle wisely. One of the best ways to surround yourself with knowledge is by engaging with like-minded individuals who value learning and growth. Join communities, mastermind groups, or networking circles where people discuss ideas, share insights, and support each other's progress. You can find these groups in person or online. Forums, social media groups, and professional networks are great places to connect with people who inspire you. When you engage in meaningful discussions with those who challenge your thinking, you gain new perspectives and deepen your understanding of various subjects. Additionally, mentors and role models can play a crucial role in your learning journey. A mentor is someone who has already walked the path you want to take and can offer guidance based on real-life experience. Learning from their successes and mistakes can save you years of trial and error. If you don't have direct access to a mentor, you can still learn from successful people by studying their books, podcasts, interviews, and online courses. Absorb their knowledge and apply their wisdom to your own life. Apart from people, the content you consume daily has a huge impact on your mindset and knowledge. Be intentional about what you read, watch, and listen to. Instead of spending hours on mindless entertainment, dedicate time to consuming educational content that expands your thinking. Read books that challenge your assumptions and introduce you to new ideas. Listen to podcasts or audiobooks while commuting, exercising, or doing chores. Follow thought leaders who inspire you and share valuable insights on success, personal development, and lifelong learning. It's also important to create an environment that encourages learning. Your surroundings should be designed in a way that makes it easy and enjoyable to access knowledge. For example, keep books within arm's reach, on your desk, bedside table, or anywhere you spend time. Subscribe to online learning platforms where you can take courses at your convenience. Set up a workspace that minimizes distractions so you can focus on deep learning and reflection. The easier you make it to access knowledge, the more likely you are to engage with it consistently. Another powerful way to surround yourself with knowledge is to engage in continuous discussion and debate. When you actively discuss ideas with others, you reinforce your understanding and gain new insights. Join book clubs, discussion groups, or debate forums where you can analyze concepts, ask questions, and hear different perspectives. The process of explaining ideas to others not only solidifies your learning, but also helps you develop critical thinking skills and the ability to articulate your thoughts clearly. At the same time, be mindful of limiting interactions with people who drain your energy and discourage growth. If someone constantly belittles your ambition, mocks your desire to learn, or fills your mind with negativity, it may be time to distance yourself. You don't need to cut people out completely, but you should be conscious of how much influence they have over you. Instead, prioritize relationships that uplift and inspire you. In the digital age, it has never been easier to surround yourself with knowledge and like-minded individuals. You have access to an unlimited amount of information at your fingertips. Use this to your advantage. Follow educational YouTube channels, enroll in online courses, listen to expert interviews, and participate in virtual learning communities. The more you immerse yourself in a world of growth and learning, the faster you will progress on your journey to success. At the end of the day, the people and knowledge you surround yourself with shape your future. If you want to grow, evolve, and succeed, you must consciously choose an environment that supports your goals. Surround yourself with those who inspire you to become better, consume content that challenges and educates you, and create a space where learning is a natural and enjoyable part of your life. When you do this consistently, you will find yourself constantly growing, improving, and moving closer to the success you desire. Chapter 6. Teach what you learn, the best way to master knowledge. One of the most powerful ways to solidify your learning and truly master a subject is to teach it to others. When you explain concepts to someone else, you reinforce your own understanding and fill in any gaps in your knowledge. Teaching forces you to break down complex ideas into simpler, more digestible parts, which helps deepen your comprehension. The act of sharing knowledge also enhances your ability to communicate effectively and think critically, both of which are essential skills for success. Many people mistakenly believe they need to be experts before they can teach, but this is not true. You don't have to wait until you've mastered a subject to start sharing what you know. In fact, teaching is one of the best ways to accelerate your learning. As the saying goes, if you want to learn something deeply, teach it. Even if you're just one step ahead of someone else, you can still provide valuable insights and help others grow while strengthening your own knowledge in the process. Teaching can take many different forms. It doesn't necessarily mean standing in front of a classroom. You can share what you learn through writing blog posts, making YouTube videos, discussing ideas in social media groups, or simply explaining concepts to friends, family, or colleagues. Even casual conversations can be an opportunity to reinforce your learning. For example, if you've just read a book on productivity, you can discuss key takeaways with a friend and explore how they apply to real-life situations. The more you articulate your thoughts, the more clearly you'll understand them. Another great way to teach is by creating educational content. You don't have to be a professional writer or speaker. Just start with what you know. If you learn something valuable, write about it in a journal, share it on social media, or record a short video explaining the concept in your own words. Teaching through content creation not only helps you internalize knowledge, but also allows you to build a personal brand and attract like-minded individuals who are interested in the same topics. Over time, this can open doors to new opportunities, collaborations, and even career growth. Beyond improving your understanding, teaching also strengthens your leadership and confidence. When you share knowledge, people look to you as a source of guidance and expertise. This can boost your self-esteem and position you as a leader in your field. It also helps you develop patience, empathy, and adaptability, qualities that are essential for both personal and professional success. When you teach, you become more aware of different learning styles and perspectives, which allows you to communicate more effectively with people from all walks of life. Additionally, teaching others can help you identify weaknesses in your own learning. When you struggle to explain something clearly, it's a sign that you may need to revisit the material and deepen your understanding. This process of identifying gaps and refining your knowledge is what turns an average learner into a true expert. The best teachers are not those who claim to know everything, but those who continuously seek to learn more and improve their ability to convey ideas. One of the most fulfilling aspects of teaching is the impact it has on others. When you share knowledge, you inspire, motivate, and empower people to improve their own lives. You contribute to their success and create a ripple effect of learning and growth. Imagine how many lives you can change simply by passing on valuable information. Whether it's helping a friend develop a new skill, mentoring someone in your industry, or guiding a younger sibling, every act of teaching has the potential to make a difference. To make the most of this strategy, make it a habit to teach something every day. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just take a moment to share a new idea, explain a concept, or discuss a book you're reading. If you learn a powerful lesson from a podcast, summarize it for someone else. If you discover a new productivity hack, share it with a colleague. If you watch an inspiring documentary, talk about its key messages with a friend. The more you teach, the more deeply you'll embed knowledge into your mind. Incorporating teaching into your daily life will transform the way you learn. It will shift you from being a passive consumer of information to an active participant in the learning process. You'll begin to approach knowledge with a new level of engagement, knowing that you'll need to explain it to others. This mindset will push you to understand subjects on a deeper level, think critically, and communicate more effectively. Knowledge is most valuable when it is shared. Keeping information to yourself limits its potential, but spreading knowledge multiplies its impact. The more you teach, the more you grow, and the more you help others grow along with you. By making teaching a part of your daily routine, you will reinforce your own learning, develop valuable skills, and leave a positive impact on the world around you. Chapter 7. Apply what you learn. Turn knowledge into action. Learning is only the first step towards success. The real transformation happens when you apply what you've learned. Many people consume endless books, watch educational videos, and attend seminars, yet their lives remain unchanged. Why? Because knowledge without action is useless. To truly benefit from what you learn, you must implement it in your daily life. When you take action, knowledge turns into experience, and experience leads to growth and mastery. It's easy to fall into the trap of passive learning, absorbing information without putting it to use. You might read about time management techniques, but never change your daily habits. You might study business strategies, but never start your own venture. You might learn about healthy eating, but continue making poor food choices. Without action, knowledge remains theoretical, and theory alone will not lead to success. To create real progress, you must bridge the gap between learning and doing. One of the most effective ways to apply what you learn is to set specific goals and take small, consistent steps. Instead of overwhelming yourself with trying to implement everything at once, focus on one key lesson at a time. If you read a book about productivity, start by applying one technique, such as planning your day the night before. If you watch a video on improving communication skills, practice active listening in your next conversation. Small changes, applied consistently, lead to significant results over time. Another powerful strategy is to take immediate action after learning something new. Whenever you gain valuable knowledge, ask yourself, how can I use this today? If you learn a new sales technique, apply it in your next business interaction. If you discover a way to improve focus, test it out while working on your next project. The sooner you apply what you learn, the more likely it is to stick. Delaying action leads to forgetting, but immediate practice reinforces new skills and ideas. Journaling can also be a useful tool in turning knowledge into action. After learning something valuable, write down key takeaways and how you plan to implement them. Reflect on your progress regularly. What worked? What didn't? What adjustments can you make? Keeping track of your actions helps you stay accountable and measure your growth. When you write things down, they become clearer and you're more likely to follow through. Another effective way to reinforce learning is through real-world experimentation. Treat new knowledge as something to test rather than something to simply believe. If you learn about a new exercise routine, try it and see how your body responds. If you study a personal finance strategy, apply it to your budget and observe the results. The more you experiment, the more you learn from direct experience, which is far more powerful than passive consumption. Surrounding yourself with an environment that supports action is also crucial. If you want to apply what you learn, you need to be in an atmosphere that encourages execution. Connect with people who are doers, those who take risks, challenge themselves, and turn ideas into reality. Join groups or communities that hold members accountable for their goals. Engage with mentors or coaches who push you to take action. The more you immerse yourself in an action-oriented culture, the easier it becomes to follow through. It's also important to overcome the fear of failure. Many people hesitate to apply what they learn because they're afraid of making mistakes. However, failure is an essential part of the learning process. Every mistake is an opportunity to gain deeper insights and refine your approach. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it as a necessary step toward mastery. The most successful people in the world are those who learn, take action, fail, adjust, and keep going. One powerful habit that can help you apply knowledge consistently is the learn, do, teach method. First, learn something new. Then, immediately apply it in your own life. Finally, teach it to someone else. Teaching reinforces learning and helps you internalize concepts better. When you commit to sharing what you've learned, you naturally take action because you need first-hand experience to explain things effectively. This cycle creates a loop of continuous improvement. At the end of the day, success is not about how much you know, it's about what you do with what you know. A person who reads one book and applies its lessons will see more results than someone who reads 100 books but takes no action. The key to self-education is not just gathering information, but transforming it into tangible outcomes. Make a commitment today. Every time you learn something valuable, apply it. Take that extra step. Turn knowledge into action. When you do this consistently, you will not only grow intellectually, but also create meaningful change in your life. The combination of continuous learning and relentless action is what leads to true success. Chapter 8. Never Stop Learning: The Lifelong Journey to Success. Education is not something that ends when you graduate from school or complete a course. It is a lifelong journey. The most successful people in the world are those who commit to continuous learning, always seeking new knowledge, skills, and experiences. Growth never stops, and neither should your desire to learn. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is the moment you stop progressing. To stay ahead in life, you must cultivate a mindset of lifelong learning, constantly improving yourself in all areas, mentally, emotionally, professionally, and personally. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that education only happens in formal settings. While schools and universities provide a foundation, real learning happens every day, in every moment. Every experience, interaction, and challenge is an opportunity to gain wisdom. The world is your classroom, and every person you meet has something to teach you. When you adopt this mindset, you begin to see learning opportunities everywhere, in books, in conversations, in failures, and even in the most unexpected situations. To develop the habit of lifelong learning, start by making curiosity a core part of your daily life. Ask questions. Seek to understand things on a deeper level. Don't just accept information, analyze it, challenge it, and explore different perspectives. Be open to new ideas and never be afraid to change your mind when presented with better evidence. True intelligence is not about knowing everything. It's about being willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Another key to lifelong learning is staying adaptable. The world is constantly evolving, and those who refuse to grow get left behind. Whether it's advancements in technology, changes in industries, or shifts in societal values, success belongs to those who embrace change and continuously update their knowledge and skills. The most resilient and successful people are those who remain flexible and open-minded, always willing to learn new things and reinvent themselves when necessary. To ensure that learning remains a lifelong habit, make it intentional. Set personal learning goals and create a system that keeps you accountable. For example, challenge yourself to read a certain number of books each year, take online courses regularly, or dedicate time each day to developing a new skill. Keep a learning journal where you document key insights from books, articles, and experiences. Reflect on what you've learned and think about how you can apply it to your life. One of the best ways to keep learning engaging is to explore a variety of subjects. Don't limit yourself to just one area of expertise. Expand your knowledge across different disciplines. If you're interested in business, study psychology to understand how people think. If you're into fitness, explore nutrition and mental health. If you're a creative person, dive into science or philosophy. The more diverse your knowledge, the more connections you can make between ideas, leading to greater innovation and creativity. Lifelong learning is not just about gaining knowledge, it's also about growing as a person. The more you learn, the more self-aware you become. You develop critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and emotional intelligence. You learn to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and resilience. You gain the confidence to pursue your goals and the humility to recognize that there is always more to learn. It's also important to surround yourself with a community of learners. Engage with people who challenge and inspire you to grow. Join mastermind groups, attend workshops, or simply have deep conversations with those who share your passion for knowledge. Learning in isolation can be effective, but learning within a community accelerates growth by exposing you to different perspectives and insights. Above all, Make learning a source of joy rather than a chore. When you find pleasure in expanding your mind, it stops feeling like work and becomes something you naturally seek out. Approach learning with a sense of wonder, excitement, and enthusiasm. The more you enjoy the process, the more consistent you will be in your pursuit of knowledge. Lifelong learning is what separates those who merely exist from those who truly thrive. The people who achieve greatness are those who never stop growing, who continuously challenge themselves, and who remain hungry for knowledge. No matter where you are in life, no matter your age or background, there is always more to learn. Commit to this journey, and you will unlock limitless potential within yourself. Success is not about what you know today. It's about your willingness to keep learning, evolving, and striving to be better every single day. So, make the decision now. Become a lifelong learner, and success will follow you for the rest of your life. Chapter 9. Teach what you learn. Strengthen your knowledge by sharing it. One of the most powerful ways to solidify your knowledge and accelerate your growth is by teaching what you learn. When you take the time to explain concepts to others, you reinforce your own understanding, uncover gaps in your knowledge, and make the information more deeply ingrained in your memory. Teaching transforms passive learning into active mastery. It forces you to organize your thoughts, simplify complex ideas, and communicate them in a way that makes sense, not just to others, but to yourself. Many people believe that they need to be experts before they can teach, but that's not true. You don't have to be a professor, an author, or a coach to share knowledge. You simply need a willingness to help others. Teaching can take many forms. You can explain a concept to a friend, mentor someone who is just starting out, write blog posts, create videos, or even have deep conversations about what you've learned. The act of sharing information benefits both you and the person receiving it, creating a cycle of mutual growth. One of the best ways to apply this principle is through the learn, do, teach method. First, you learn a new skill, concept, or piece of information. Then, you apply it in your own life to gain first-hand experience. Finally, you teach it to someone else. This three-step process ensures that knowledge isn't just absorbed, but put into practice and passed on, making it more valuable and impactful. Teaching also sharpens your critical thinking and problem-solving abilities. When you explain an idea to someone else, you are forced to break it down into its simplest form. If you struggle to explain something clearly, it's a sign that you haven't fully understood it yourself. This process pushes you to go back, refine your knowledge, and truly grasp the subject. The more you teach, the more precise and confident you become in your understanding. Another reason teaching is so powerful is that it creates accountability. When you commit to teaching someone else, you naturally feel responsible for applying the knowledge yourself. If you teach a lesson on discipline, you are more likely to hold yourself accountable for being disciplined. If you share insights about personal finance, you will feel the need to manage your money wisely. Teaching aligns your actions with your words, reinforcing positive habits in your own life. Sharing knowledge is also a way to contribute to the world. The most successful people are not just those who accumulate knowledge, but those who use it to uplift others. When you teach, you create a ripple effect. Helping one person can lead to them helping others, spreading wisdom far beyond what you can imagine. Think about the great teachers, mentors, and leaders who have shaped history. Their impact didn't come from hoarding knowledge, but from sharing it generously. Another benefit of teaching is that it opens doors to new opportunities. When you consistently share valuable insights, you position yourself as someone who is knowledgeable and helpful. This can lead to career growth, collaborations, networking opportunities, and even financial rewards. Whether you become a thought leader in your industry, start a blog that attracts an audience, or mentor someone who later helps you in return, teaching creates endless possibilities. A simple way to start teaching is by sharing small lessons in everyday conversations. You don't need a formal platform, just talk about what you've learned. If you read an interesting book, discuss the key takeaways with a friend. If you watch an insightful documentary, share what you found fascinating. If you develop a new skill, help someone else learn it too. The act of passing on knowledge doesn't require a stage. It simply requires a willingness to contribute. Another method is to document your learning journey. You don't have to be an expert to teach. You just need to be one step ahead of someone else. If you're learning a new language, share your progress and tips with others who are just starting. If you're studying personal development, write about your experiences and lessons learned. The best teachers are not always those who have mastered everything, but those who are actively growing and sharing their journey along the way. Teaching doesn't mean you have to know everything. In fact, some of the best teachers are those who are still learning themselves. Don't be afraid to say, "I don't know, but let's find out together." Teaching is not about having all the answers. It's about fostering curiosity, encouraging discussion, and guiding others in the right direction. When you embrace this mindset, you'll find that teaching becomes a powerful tool for continuous learning and self-improvement. Make teaching a daily habit. To fully integrate teaching into your life, make it a daily practice. Look for opportunities to share knowledge in both big and small ways. Offer guidance to a colleague, mentor someone younger, start a knowledge-sharing group, or even write social media posts about what you're learning. The more you teach, the more you reinforce your own growth. Success is not just about how much you know, it's about how much you give. When you become a teacher, you elevate yourself and those around you. Knowledge is one of the few things in life that increases when you share it. The more you teach, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more successful you become. So, commit to this habit today. Whenever you learn something valuable, teach it to someone else. Not only will you deepen your understanding, but you'll also make a meaningful impact on the world. The secret to mastering knowledge is not in keeping it, it's in sharing it. Chapter 10. Take action. Turn knowledge into results. Knowledge alone is not enough to create success. It must be applied. Many people spend years reading books, attending seminars, and consuming information, yet their lives remain the same. Why? Because they never take action. Learning is only the first step. What truly makes a difference is how you use what you learn. Without execution, knowledge remains just potential power, never transforming into real results. Taking action is what separates those who succeed from those who merely dream. You can have the most brilliant ideas, the best strategies, and a wealth of knowledge, but if you don't act on them, they are meaningless. Action bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. The key is to move beyond passive learning and develop the habit of applying what you learn immediately. One of the biggest reasons people fail to take action is overthinking. They get stuck in a cycle of analyzing, planning, and preparing, but never actually starting. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or more knowledge before they begin. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. Action itself creates opportunities. You don't need to have everything figured out before you start. You just need to take the first step. To break free from inaction, adopt the mindset of an experimenter. Instead of waiting to be fully prepared, approach everything as a learning experience. Take small steps, test ideas, and adjust along the way. Every action, even if it leads to failure, teaches you something valuable. Progress is not about perfection, it's about constant movement. The people who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or the most knowledgeable, but the ones who are willing to take risks and learn through doing. Another major obstacle to taking action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes. But fear is a natural part of growth. Instead of letting it paralyze you, use it as fuel. Understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every mistake you make is a lesson that brings you closer to achieving your goals. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than most people have even tried. What sets them apart is their ability to keep going despite setbacks. To turn knowledge into results, develop a bias toward action. Instead of just consuming information, ask yourself, how can I apply this today? If you read a book on productivity, implement one technique immediately. If you learn about fitness, start exercising the same day. If you study business strategies, put one into practice right away. The faster you apply knowledge, the more it becomes part of you. One of the best ways to ensure you take action is to set clear, actionable goals. Vague intentions like, I want to be successful, or I want to be healthier, don't lead to results. Instead, be specific. I will read for 30 minutes every day. I will exercise for 20 minutes every morning. Or, I will start my business by launching my first product within 3 months. When your goals are clear and measurable, it's easier to stay focused and motivated. Another powerful strategy is creating a system for action. Success is not just about motivation, it's about consistency. Motivation comes and goes, but systems keep you on track. Develop daily habits that make action automatic. If you want to become a better writer, set a daily word count goal. If you want to learn a new skill, schedule dedicated practice time each day. Small, consistent actions lead to massive results over time. Accountability also plays a key role in turning knowledge into action. When you keep your goals to yourself, it's easy to procrastinate or make excuses. But when you share them with others, you create a sense of responsibility. Find an accountability partner, join a group of like-minded individuals, or publicly commit to your goals. Knowing that others are watching and expecting progress can push you to take action even when you don't feel like it. Another important step is reviewing and refining your actions. Taking action is not just about doing random things, it's about learning from your experiences and improving along the way. Reflect on what's working and what's not. Track your progress, celebrate small wins, and make adjustments when necessary. The path to success is rarely a straight line. It's a process of learning, adapting, and growing. It's also crucial to surround yourself with action-oriented people. The environment you are in greatly influences your behavior. If you spend time with people who are always talking about their dreams but never doing anything, you may adopt the same habit. But if you surround yourself with individuals who take bold action, their mindset and energy will inspire you to do the same. Seek out mentors, communities, and friends who push you to act rather than just think. Remember that action builds momentum. The more you do, the easier it becomes. The hardest part is often just getting started. Once you take that first step, the next one becomes easier, and before you know it, you've built a habit of taking action consistently. The key is to never let a day go by without making some kind of progress. Even if it's just a small step, it moves you forward. Knowledge is only valuable when it is applied. The most successful people are not those who know the most, but those who do the most with what they know. Action creates results, and results create success. So, make a commitment to yourself today. Stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start taking action. Your future is not determined by what you know, but by what you do. Chapter 11. Embrace lifelong learning. The journey never ends. Success is not a destination. It is a continuous journey. The most successful people in the world never stop learning. They don't believe that education ends after school, or that once they reach a certain level of success, they no longer need to grow. Instead, they understand that learning is a lifelong process, one that keeps their mind sharp, their skills relevant, and their opportunities limitless. Lifelong learning is about constantly expanding your mind, seeking new knowledge, and staying curious about the world. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing, and when you stop growing, you start falling behind. In today's fast-changing world, where new information, technology, and ideas emerge every day, those who refuse to keep learning quickly become outdated. On the other hand, those who embrace continuous education remain adaptable, innovative, and always ready for new challenges. The mindset of a lifelong learner. To become a lifelong learner, you must first adopt the right mindset, the belief that there is always something new to learn. No matter how much you think you know, there is always more knowledge to gain, new perspectives to consider, and skills to develop. This humility and openness to learning set successful people apart from those who become stagnant. Lifelong learners see every experience as an opportunity for growth. They ask questions, seek answers, and challenge their own beliefs. They do not fear being wrong. Instead, they welcome corrections because they know that every mistake is a lesson. They stay curious, always wanting to understand how things work and why certain strategies succeed while others fail. Developing the habit of continuous learning. Lifelong learning does not happen by accident. It is a habit that must be cultivated daily. Here are some practical ways to incorporate learning into your everyday life. Read every day. Books are one of the best sources of knowledge. Read a variety of topics, from self-improvement and business to history, science and philosophy. Even reading just 10 to 20 pages a day can lead to immense growth over time. Listen to podcasts and audiobooks. In today's busy world, finding time to sit and read can be challenging. However, you can learn on the go by listening to educational podcasts and audiobooks while commuting, working out, or doing household tasks. Take online courses. The internet has made learning easier than ever. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and Khan Academy offer courses on virtually any subject, from marketing and coding to psychology and public speaking. Engage in deep conversations. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking and introduce you to new ideas. Engaging in discussions with knowledgeable individuals helps you see different perspectives and expand your understanding. Experiment and take risks. Learning is not just about consuming information, it's about applying it. Try new things, start projects, and take calculated risks. Even if you fail, you gain valuable experience and knowledge. Ask more questions. Curiosity leads to learning. When you meet someone successful, ask them about their journey. When you encounter something new, research it. The more questions you ask, the more you will discover. Learn from failure. Every mistake is a lesson. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, view it as feedback. Analyze what went wrong, adjust your approach, and move forward with new insights. Staying adaptable in a changing world. The world is constantly evolving, and those who refuse to learn new things are left behind. Lifelong learning keeps you adaptable. If you want to remain successful in any field, you must stay updated with new trends, technologies, and strategies. Think about industries that have changed drastically: technology, medicine, and even business. Those who continued learning adapted and thrived, while those who resisted change struggled. Being adaptable means embracing change rather than fearing it. It means being willing to learn new skills, change strategies when necessary, and stay ahead of the curve. If you want long-term success, you must commit to growth for life. The power of a growth environment. The people you surround yourself with influence your mindset and learning habits. If you want to be a lifelong learner, spend time with others who value growth. Join mastermind groups, attend seminars, and engage with communities that prioritize education and personal development. When you are in an environment where learning is celebrated, it becomes natural to keep growing. Similarly, limit time with people who discourage learning, resist change, or believe they already know everything. A growth-oriented environment fuels motivation, while a stagnant one limits potential. Conclusion: commit to lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is the foundation of lasting success. It is the secret to staying relevant, adaptable, and ahead of the competition. It ensures that no matter how much you achieve, you never stop improving. The journey of growth never ends. There is always more to learn, more ways to evolve, and more opportunities to seize. So, commit today to being a student of life. Never let a day go by without learning something new. Read, listen, ask questions, experiment, and challenge yourself. Success is not about reaching a final destination. It's about continuously learning, growing, and becoming better every single day. Chapter 12. Teach what you learn, reinforce and share knowledge. One of the most powerful ways to solidify your learning and truly master a subject is by teaching it to others. When you share knowledge, you are not only helping others grow, but you are also reinforcing your own understanding. Teaching forces you to break down complex ideas into simple, clear concepts, which deepens your comprehension and retention. The more you explain something, the more it becomes ingrained in your mind. Many people believe that they need to be experts before they can teach, but that is not true. Teaching does not mean you have to know everything about a subject. You simply need to share what you have learned so far. The process of explaining information to someone else helps you identify gaps in your own knowledge, allowing you to refine and improve your understanding. Sharing knowledge also creates a cycle of growth. When you teach others, you inspire them to do the same. Knowledge multiplies when it is shared, creating a ripple effect that benefits many people beyond just yourself. It strengthens communities, builds meaningful relationships, and fosters a culture of learning. The learning pyramid: why teaching is the best way to learn. Studies show that people remember only a small percentage of what they read or hear, but they retain up to 90% of what they teach. This concept is illustrated by the learning pyramid, which ranks different learning methods based on retention rates. Passive learning methods, such as reading and listening to lectures, result in lower retention. On the other hand, active learning methods, such as discussing, practicing, and teaching, lead to much stronger recall. When you teach what you learn, your brain processes the information in multiple ways. You are not just passively absorbing knowledge, you are engaging with it, thinking critically about it, and reshaping it into a form that others can understand. This process makes the information stick in your mind far longer than if you were simply memorizing it. Ways to teach what you learn. Teaching does not have to mean standing in front of a classroom. There are many ways to share knowledge that fit different learning styles and situations. Here are some effective ways to teach what you learn. Explain to a friend or family member. The simplest way to reinforce your learning is by explaining new concepts to someone else. Choose a friend, family member, or colleague and try to teach them what you have learned. If they understand it easily, you know you have grasped the topic well. If they struggle to understand, it means you may need to revisit certain areas for better clarity. Write about it. Writing is a powerful way to teach and refine your thoughts. Start a blog, journal your learning process, or post educational content on social media. Writing forces you to organize your thoughts and present them in a structured, logical way. Create videos or podcasts. If you prefer speaking over writing, consider recording short videos or podcasts where you explain a concept in your own words. Teaching through audio or video also helps you improve communication skills while sharing valuable insights with others. Lead discussions or study groups. Organizing a small study group where you discuss ideas and concepts with others is a great way to reinforce learning. When you explain your thoughts to a group, you get feedback, hear different perspectives, and refine your understanding. Mentor. Someone. If you have expertise in a particular field, consider mentoring someone who is just starting out. Helping someone grow strengthens your own skills and knowledge while making a meaningful impact on their journey. Teach on social media. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn offer a space to share knowledge with a wider audience. Posting small lessons, key takeaways, or short explanations can turn you into a valuable source of learning for others. Use the Feynman technique. Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman believed that the best way to learn something is to teach it in the simplest way possible. This technique involves explaining a topic as if you were teaching it to a child. If you can simplify a concept to the point where a 10-year-old could understand it, then you have truly mastered it. If you struggle, it means you need to study the topic further. The benefits of teaching what you learn. Teaching has profound benefits beyond just reinforcing your own knowledge. It enhances your ability to communicate effectively, improving your skills in explaining ideas, presenting information clearly, and engaging with different types of audiences. The more you practice teaching, the more confident and articulate you become. Another major benefit is increased retention and long-term memory. When you actively engage with information by teaching it, your brain strengthens the neural connections associated with that knowledge, making it easier to recall later. This is why educators and trainers often become experts in their subjects. They interact with the material repeatedly through teaching. Teaching also boosts leadership skills. Being able to share knowledge in an impactful way makes you a valuable asset in any professional or social setting. Whether in business, academics, or personal growth, the ability to teach others makes you stand out as a leader. Additionally, sharing knowledge fosters personal fulfillment and contribution. Helping others learn and grow gives a sense of purpose and achievement. Seeing someone succeed because of what you taught them is incredibly rewarding and motivates you to keep expanding your own knowledge. Overcoming the fear of teaching. Many people hesitate to teach because they feel they are not qualified enough or fear that others might judge them. However, the truth is that you do not need to be an expert to teach. You only need to be one step ahead of the person you are teaching. Teaching is not about having all the answers. It is about sharing what you know in a way that benefits others. Instead of focusing on what you do not know, focus on what you do know and how you can explain it in a clear and useful way. Teaching does not mean pretending to be perfect. It means being open, honest, and willing to learn alongside others. Share knowledge, multiply success. The journey of success is not just about learning. It is about passing knowledge forward. Teaching what you learn not only strengthens your own understanding, but also empowers those around you. It creates a cycle of growth where knowledge expands, ideas evolve, and people inspire each other to reach new heights. Make it a habit to share what you learn, whether through conversations, writing, mentoring, or digital content. By doing so, you reinforce your own knowledge, sharpen your communication skills, and contribute to the success of others. Learning is powerful, but teaching magnifies its impact, turning knowledge into wisdom and inspiration that lasts a lifetime. The path to lifelong success through daily learning. Success is not a destination, it is a continuous journey of growth, improvement, and transformation. The most successful individuals in the world are not those who have all the answers, but those who never stop asking questions. They see every challenge as a lesson, every failure as an opportunity, and every day as a chance to grow. By educating yourself daily, you are investing in the most valuable asset you will ever own, your mind. Every book you read, every skill you learn, every lesson you absorb adds another layer to your success. Knowledge is the fuel that drives progress, and when you commit to lifelong learning, you ensure that you are always evolving, always improving, and always moving forward. Through this journey, you have discovered the power of turning your mind into a learning machine, the importance of developing strong learning habits, and the necessity of taking action on what you learn. You have explored how to seek knowledge from various sources, question conventional wisdom, and sharpen your critical thinking. You have learned how to balance theory with practice, embrace discomfort, and push yourself beyond limitations. And finally, you have realized that knowledge truly comes to life when you share it with others, reinforcing your own growth while empowering those around you. But knowledge alone is not enough. Learning is only valuable when it is applied. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is simple: action. The more you implement what you learn, the more you transform your knowledge into results. You become a creator, an innovator, a leader. The road to success is not about luck or talent. It is about commitment, discipline, and the courage to keep learning. When you make education a daily habit, you set yourself apart from the majority. You gain confidence, clarity, and control over your future. Most importantly, you develop the mindset of continuous growth, which ensures that no obstacle, no failure, and no setback can stop you from achieving your full potential. So, keep learning, keep questioning, keep growing. Success is not built in a day, it is built every day. And as long as you keep educating yourself, there will be no limit to what you can achieve.